Hey everybody. Okay, so today I was guided to share with you about what happened to me in Egypt, like how that whole thing came about, how I got that gorgeous photo of me with the pyramid in the background and the orange dress, all of that. So, for some of you, this may seem strange or odd, but I am a very deeply spiritual person. I'm not religious specifically. I personally feel like most religions have become corrupted over the years. Not the tenets of them, you understand? Not the truth with a capital T. The essence of all religions are pretty much beautiful and good and similar, if not exactly the same. And I know this because I have studied different religions, from ancient traditions like Egyptian, deities, and to, Christian. I was born into a Christian family, half Catholic, my mom's side, and half Jacobite, so like an Orthodox Christian. So I went to Catholic school all my life. So I had that was my foundation, and I absolutely had a connection to Jesus, like a connection, a soulful connection. Not whoa, something just coming in my anyway. Sorry about that. Um, like a soulful connection to Jesus. There's a photo, like in a lot of Malayali homes, there's a photo of Jesus, kind of like that French style of Jesus with the Sacred Heart and the hand, with the remnant of the crucifixion in his hand. There's a picture of that in our family home and in my parents' bedroom, and it's something that I often it's an image that I often connected with, and the essence of that Christ consciousness I very much connected with. I did start out more religious, more traditionally religious, because that's what was around me and that's what I knew. Um, but one of the first things that ended up happening, wow, this is turning into a bigger tangent than I thought, but one of the first things that happened that made me question the soundness of religion is when I went away to college, like the religion that I was raised in. When I went away to college, after my first year, I came back for the summer or something like that, and I went to our church, and I shared with our priest that, my roommates were Muslim, my friend circle were Hindus, and the notion of these people are gonna go to hell, burn in hell because they don't follow Jesus in that way, like that message that did not resonate with me, because I'm like, no, how can we have an all-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving, benevolent God and say that only the people that touch a particular religion or happen to be available to it are the ones that are somehow going to be saved? That's BS, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And if you think about it, if you really think about it, in your heart, in your soul, you will know that that doesn't make any sense. And I knew this because I broke bread with people of different religions. I broke bread with people who had no religion, who were atheists, and what they believed in and trusted in was things that they could know or see, like science or the environment, like nature, like more paganistic. They may not call it that word, but that elemental piece. And one thing that is true is there are beautiful, gorgeous souls who belong to every religion. And there are some really nasty, heavily influenced by darker, shadowier parts who are in every religion. So, and unfortunately, some of them may even be in leadership roles within these institutions. And their guidance is on division, divisiveness. That is judgment, right? When you are sitting there thinking about somebody else, like they're, and how they are not the same as you, right? Like somehow less than, like, because they're missing this particular element. Like that's crazy. Like, to me, if you're in a journey where that's what you believe, okay, maybe I'm not the right teacher, guide, leader for you. Or maybe I just put a seed that will germinate in time for you. My point in sharing this particular element is allow yourself to really think about this, right? Like, allow yourself to be open to challenging your own religion. This is one of the biggest gifts I got from my high school religion teacher, who was a Catholic, married to a Muslim man. And she told our class, part of faith, real faith, is you have to be able to challenge what is. Challenge what you've been told. Challenge what is normal, because normal was just somebody deciding a long time ago a particular path, and then a whole bunch of people adopting that. And we see this in our society today, right? Where, come on now, like the amount of lies. I live in the US, and I personally am not a fan of Trump. There's a lot more on that later, but from a spiritual perspective. But anyway, I'll get to that in another video. Okay, where was I going? I digressed. I lost my point. I'm so sorry. Maybe it'll come back. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. Okay. So what I was saying about President Trump, and like, one of the things that is glaringly obvious to me is that you plant a seed, you tell a lie over and over and over again, and it starts to take a hold like it is the truth, right? People start to believe that like it is the truth because they've heard it so many times. They've had it affirmed from so many different sources. I'm smiling and kind of laughing because Spirit is kind of funny. Like, the divine is really funny with how it functions. But I'm here because I'm about to disrupt all of our systems. I'm here to shake you up and to wake you up. And I'm not necessarily talking to the egoic part of you right now. I am talking to the soul of you. The soul that knows capital T truth, capital T, like ineffable truth, undeniable truth, incorruptible truth, right? And the truth is, we have been so freaking brainwashed to believing that we are powerless, to believing that there's only a particular narrow way to function and be, and that anything that falls outside of those lines is wrong. And in doing so, regardless of what we actually believe, like, you might be very progressive in, terms of social justice and so forth. And yet, if you are mimicking this system, but just kind of swapping out like what's considered good versus what's considered bad, sadly, you are unintentionally continuing to add to this paradigm. You're continuing to live in it and build from it. You're not disrupting it. So, it's hard for me sometimes to talk about these things because I'm a big thinker, right? And because I'm so divinely connected and guided by spirit, I get a lot of big concepts and ideas, and I'm trying to find ways to communicate it to you all in pieces, which is part of the reason why I'm saying, continue to just watch the videos, because in time there's an element here, there's an element there, and then, but all together, the whole pie of this plan, the whole vision, the whole way to get there, meaning getting to a place of world peace, of personal liberation, of systemic liberation, of just true liberation in every sense of the word. The keys are going to be here. I have them. I know them. It's just a lot of different concepts that have to be articulated. And I have to for some people, there's going to be foundational elements that I'll have to throw in, which will be in different videos. And then for other people who are more familiar with manifestation, or the vibrational nature of the universe, or universal laws and principles that are found in every religion and no religion at all, right? Those are the types of things that it's not commonplace. So just being able to educate. Anyway, okay. I'm trying to figure out where do you guys want me to go with this now? I'm just going to come back to the Egypt story. So, as I mentioned, I was going to tell you about Egypt. In September of 2023, I had never had a connection to the goddess Isis before, but she started to come into my life, kind of, in terms of connecting with me around that time. And she started to call to me, maybe by the summer of 2023 or so. She started to call actually when I came to this house, when I got divorced from, man, there's so many tangents, but I guess I'm just gonna go with it, and hopefully my team will help me edit this into some way that makes sense. Anyway, okay, focus. 2023, July 4th, 2023, my personal freedom day from my marriage. It's the day that me and my ex-wife, my third wife, yes, I've been married 4 times, 3 women, 1 man. again, a story for another time. So when I moved here, I found this place when I was leaving, and I actually was coming to look at it for my ex-wife. We were like it's an amicable-ish, situation, gotten better over time. So I came to look at this home, this townhouse, for her, just to see like if it would be a good fit. But when I came here, I felt the energy of it immediately. So my home has the number 13 in it, which is the number of the divine feminine. I didn't know that at the time, but I felt drawn to it. Or maybe I did know that particular thing. And then my home is also, there's the word Daisy in my street address. And so with Daisy, that is the flower for the goddess Freya. And so Freya is where Friday, the name Friday came about. So the number 13 and, Friday, Freya, goddess Freya, these are strong representations of the divine feminine. Now, please note, divine feminine, for those of you who don't know, like masculine and feminine are energies. And they are energies that are in all of us. Maybe, to different degrees, to varying degrees, but they're in all of us. And so, have you ever thought about the fact that at least here in the US, how we have been taught to fear Friday the 13th? That it was made into a bad luck number, when in reality, these are two powerful symbols of the divine feminine. I mean, let's be real. Let's be very, very real about this. Women are dangerously powerful. Women are dangerously powerful. Let that sink in. This is why, and our feminine energy. Let me go back to the fact that it's not just women that have feminine energy, but it is more predominant in most women to have this feminine energy, which is why we have centuries ago, perhaps even millennia ago, prior to the patriarchal system that we currently know, we had a more a society that did actually honor and uplift the feminine, the divine feminine. It wasn't oppressed in the way that it is now. Sorry, there's so much information in my head. I'm trying to figure out how to get it all to you guys. Let me get some water. I need to ground. I want to say thanks to my friend Lisa, who gave me this. Okay. Okay. Here's the deal. Our feminine energy, the divine feminine, the rawness of it, the power of it, our sensuality, our sexuality, our ability to create, our ability to utilize pain as a transformative power. Think about giving birth, right? Think about your menstrual cycle. Think about the even menopause. Like all of these ways in which we have been given the gift of knowing firsthand, how to handle pain, handle that pain. And it is a gift because it is such a powerful force for transmutation. Which is why if back in the day there was actual value for both the sacred masculine and the divine feminine, there's a beautiful harmony in it, right? A sacred masculine versus a toxic masculine. So a sacred masculinity is about to me it's like this knowing of creating a safe container, the strength to serve as like a boundary holder for the sanctity of what happens in the divine feminine, which is the creation space, that womb space, that mystical, mysterious space that allows for new things to become born. When those two are in balance, it's powerful because it allows for the wild mystery of the feminine, the intuitiveness, the BS meter, like the strong BS meter, right? Like it allows for that to be powerful. And it allows for the masculine to also be powerful. When we're in imbalance, as we are, as a society, as a people, as individuals, when we are imbalanced, I'm gonna come back.